Apparently, one of the writers that was working on the script to your life ends up changing some of the names and selling it to National Lampoon, and that becomes National Lampoon's Van Wilder, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Supposedly. I did nothing with this. Like, just so you know, I didn't have anything to do with the movie Van Wilder. I had nothing to do. I didn't write it, didn't star in it. But yeah, National Lampoon's comes out, Van Wilder, and I get a phone call from my agents and my managers. Because we had been in development. They'd all been in these development meetings. They were like, yo, we're going to sue him. And I was like, for real? And they're like, yeah. And I just remember being in my car being like, wow, we're going to sue him. And then my manager, Barry Katz at the time, shout out to Barry Katz, gets on the phone and he goes, all right, I'm going to say one thing before we move on into this conversation. There's two types of people in this business, Bert. There's people who work and there's people who sue. Pick which one you want to be. So I didn't. And you got to remember, the movie didn't come out strong in the box offices. Yeah. It's a cult hit now. And so we didn't sue. And then cut to 15, 18 years later, I take a meeting. I don't know who these people are. They want to do a sitcom with me. And they're like, we're really big fans. And I was like, oh, thanks. They're like, we'd like to do a sitcom with you. And I was like, I'd love that. That's my goal. And they're like, do you know who we are? And I said, no. And they're like, we produced a movie called Van Wilder. And I was like, oh, shit.
You guys.
I called Barry Katz and I said, hey, that was great advice. In this business, a lot of people feel like their intellectual property gets taken all the time. And a lot of times it doesn't. You get in your feelings about it, and then you say things you wish you hadn't, or you behave in a certain way that you wish you hadn't in hindsight. And I left the meeting, and I called Barry, and I was like, hey man, that was great advice.